The Chicago Bears make it to the NFL playoffs just to get stomped, beat up, embarrassed, and sent home by the New Orleans Saints 21-9. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking about this embarrassing loss by the Chicago Bears that ends their season. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe because I do talk a lot of NFL on this channel. And make sure to hit the bell icon and be notified every time I drop a new video, folks. Even though the Bears season's over, certainly doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking about them. In fact, the conversation is just beginning about this team because we have a lot to get into. So hit the bell icon. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Links is always down below for that. So with that being said, let's get into it. All right, so here's where I want to start. Okay? Going into this game, the Chicago Bears were predictably and very much deservingly so underdogs, right? 10.5 points. Everybody picked the Saints to win, including myself, because we all know the Saints were and are the better team, okay? So why am I starting with this? Because I believe we need to keep some perspective in mind here, because certainly for myself, because I'm very much heated at this point, obviously being a Bears fan, but we all know the Saints are the better team and they won. We knew the Bears had their work cut out for them, especially with your best player out on defense in Roquan Smith, your stud rookie wide receiver out in Darnell Mooney, your rookie cornerback Jalen Johnson being out, Buster Stream being out, injuries piling up. Everything was working against the Bears. So, I don't believe we should judge them by the fact that, oh my God, the Bears lost a game that they should have won. No! All we wanted was the Bears to just be competitive. Just make it interesting. That's it, okay? Just, hear me out, don't embarrass yourself and your fans. That's what the Bears did. The one thing we told them not to do, embarrass themselves and their fans. This was not a close game at all. In fact, we got a garbage time touchdown, just icing on the cake at the very end to make it 21-9. So congrats for whoever, was able to get that backdoor cover. You can thank Jimmy Graham for that. But point being here is, folks, I know the Bears were really not supposed to win this game in terms of the expectations, but you at least expected more of a fight. Just put up a fight. That's it. And you couldn't even do that. All right, so it's time to play the blame game, right? Is it time to just fire everybody? What are we going to do? Let's do this, all right? I thought about what I could do different here. And I'm going to go through drive by drive in this game, all right? And talk about the most important play on that drive. And you guys will see and understand what I mean. All right, and how the Bears just completely folded and just embarrassed themselves. All right, the first drive of the game, the Bears deferred, which I always hate, but they did, to the Saints. All right, cool, whatever. And the Saints had a 3-and-out. So shout out to the Bears defense. Okay, I like it. 3-and-out, let's go. It worked out in our favor. First drive of the Bears. You start with a backward pass to Anthony Miller. That's when I knew something was fishy. And I'm like, wait a second. That did not look like the offensive play calling that I've been seeing the last 5 weeks. Is Bill Lazor not calling the plays anymore? Is it Matt Nagy now? Got a little fishy there. Okay. So then I'm like, all right, fine. But remember, I told you my number one key going into this game was what? Run the football. So first drive, you had that pass to Miller, and then you ran one time with Monty, and third and long or whatever, 3-and-out. All right, fine. Still a lot of football left. Second drive for the Saints, they get a touchdown. Welcome back, Michael Thomas. Drew Brees to MT, 7-0 Saints. All right, we know this defense is struggling, so obviously that wasn't ideal, but still a lot of time left. All right, second drive for the Bears. And here I'm like, oh, wow. This was a good play call because you had Mitch throw a dart, a dime to Wims in the right sideline. So shout out to Juwan Wims, but not shout out to Juwan Wims because that very next play, a trick pass, an absolute laser by Mitch, just right in the bread basket to Juwan Wims, drops it. Flat out drops it. Just awful. That was a backbreaker, folks. If I could pick out one play from this game that changed everything, was that play. That play happens. We get all the momentum. The Saints are sweating a little bit. Mitch's confidence goes up. The defense for the Bears, their confidence goes up. Everything changes if Juwan Williams just holds on to that damn football. And not even holds on, if he catches that damn football. He should have been cut weeks ago. Why is Juwan Williams even on the Bears right now? I mean, I get it. Mooney was out, but can you have A-Rob run that? Can you have Miller run that? And I'll get to Anthony Miller in a second because obviously we know he got thrown out. But just brutal, folks. That was just brutal, okay? So that should have been 7-7, but instead it's still 7-0. Saints. All right, third drive. So that was the Wims drop 2D. Third drive for the Saints. They get a Will Lutz missed field goal. So we're thinking, oh, great. All right, still a game. It's only a one-score game. Then the third drive for the Bears, and it's another 3-and-out. So offense was awful. And here's where my suspicion keeps going a little bit up. This offense doesn't look like it's being called by Bill Lazor. Okay? Fourth drive for the Saints. The Bears defense actually makes a play. John Jenkins gets the interception. Ducelli had the interception prior, but it was called a dropped pass. Now we actually get an interception. Short field for the Bears, and they still can't make a touchdown, and we have to settle for the field goal. But if you guys remember on this play, we got an unsportsmanlike conduct on Cole Kmet. That was one of the most bogus calls I've ever seen. The refs were awful in this game. I'm not saying the refs were the reason we lost, but they were just awful in this game. That took the Bears from 2nd and 6, which is very manageable, to 3rd and 20. 3rd and 20, folks. That was awful. And right there, the game's teetering, right? If the Bears score on that drive, 7-7, whole different ball game. You got to settle for the field goal, 7-3. All right, 5th drive, Saints punt. Great. Good job, defense. 5th drive, Bears. This is the play where David Montgomery had the incomplete pass, which got returned for a touchdown. But again, it was not a completed pass, so it got called back. 3-and-out, punt. All right. Then 6th drive for the Saints. They punt. Good job, defense. 6th drive for the Bears. This is where I knew it. This is where I knew, okay, Bill Lazor's not calling the plays. It was 3rd and 2, and we call a running play to Ryan Nall. And he got blown up. Ryan Nall, in a playoff game, biggest game of the year, biggest game of your life, 3rd and 2, convert, and it's huge. You don't convert, changes the game. Ryan Nall, running play to Ryan Nall. I knew it at that point. I was like, oh, there's no way Bill Lazor's calling the plays. This is not the offense. Just not it. So then obviously it's halftime. All right. Coming out of halftime here, 7th drive for the Bears. This is where Anthony Miller gets disqualified. Just a boneheaded, selfish decision by Anthony Miller. Shouldn't have done it. Let him let the Saints get in his head, and he got kicked out, and that's been his Bears career. Disappointment all over, all the time. I'll tell you this much. If Anthony Miller's not in a Bears uniform next year, I won't be sad. Nope. Bears punted. 7th drive for the Saints. Touchdown. Drew Brees to Latavius Murray. It was that little flip pass over Khalil Mack, who almost looked like he got the sack. 14-3. Game's about to blow open. Bears get the ball back. This is where the game is about to blow open. 3rd and 8. Mitchell Trubisky checks down. Mitch, you can't do that. You just can't do that. I don't care. I really don't even care at that point if you throw a pick. But at least throw it past the sticks. At least throw it past the sticks, Mitch. Come on. That was pathetic. Punt again for the Bears. 8th drive for the Saints. Touchdown. 21-3. Alvin Kamara. And then after that, the game was pretty much over. We got a garbage touchdown at the end, but that's all she wrote. So, My 3 keys going into the game were, if you watch my preview video, run the football with David Montgomery and 12 rushes, which is nearly not enough for 31 yards. Monty never got going because he never got rhythm. The running game was sporadic. Just awful. Credit to the Saints defense. They were good, but we never established Monty. Pressure Drew Brees and 0 sacks. Defense played okay, solid, 0 sacks. Pass rush is awful. Stop Alvin Kamara. And 23 for 99 yards and a touchdown. Almost had 2 TDs, but credits to the Bears defense. So, everything that I said the Bears should do, they didn't do. Just a flat-out embarrassing effort all around in this game. The defense was undisciplined. The offense was pathetic. Play calling was trash. Mitchell Trubisky was not good. Just a bad effort all around. So, here's where I'm at, guys. Usually, after a game like this, if it had stayed close, you could have made the case that, hey, let's bring everybody back for a year because, again, we're talking about 2 out of the last 3 years you make the playoffs. You don't have any losing record. But to go out in this fashion, it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and you're thinking, what's the point? We come back again next year, do this all over again, and go 8-8, and, get knocked down the first round again? No. So, because I don't want to be the guy who keeps flip-flopping and saying 1 week fire them and the other week keep them, here's what I'm going to say. And this is not me, hedging or whatever. I'm just going to say this straight up forward. Be prepared for anything. If Mitchell Trubisky is not brought back, if Matt Nagy's not brought back, if Ryan Pace is not brought back, so be it. I'm not going to be sad. I will say this much. I've been pretty consistent on this point. I am more than ready to move off of Mitchell Trubisky. But who is the replacement? It's always easy to say, oh, let's fire somebody. Who's the replacement? Right? If you have the replacement, if we could trade for Deshaun Watson, a Stafford, a Matt Ryan, cool. I'm good. But if the plan is to draft a quarterback, are we paying this defense with a rookie quarterback? I certainly wouldn't. So wouldn't that mean a rebuild? I think so. So could Mitch just be our Alex Smith, right, where we keep him for a year and wait till we draft our Patrick Mahomes? Just saying. As far as Nagy and Pace, I don't know how you keep one and fire the other. They came as a package. Pace hired Nagy. Nagy is Pace's guy. If you move off of one, you got to move off both. So to me, again, I feel like my emotions sometimes get tied up with my analysis. I try not to let that happen. But at this point, folks, it just feels like we all need a fresh start. So for me, leaning towards everybody getting canned here. As far as Ted Phillips, he needs to go. Chuck Pagano needs to go. And I think that's where I'm kind of set here. Chuck Pagano and Ted Phillips need to be gone, no doubt about it. Pace, Nagy, and Trubisky, I'm okay either way. I truly am. I won't complain. Because, like I said, performance like these, just not acceptable. So there's going to be a lot of questions asked. There's just going to be a lot of decisions to be made. So we'll see what happens with this team. But overall, folks, just not the way you want to go out. Just not the way you want to go out. And here's the thing, man, for the Mitchell Trubisky truthers, if you will, I love Mitch. Mitch has been, everything you want from a quarterback in terms of his, character, personality, whatnot. But on the field, your performance matters, and you can't have everything be perfect. I know the coaching can be better, but Deshaun Watson made it work with Bill O'Brien as his coach and a bad defense and a bad offensive line. After a while, talent shines. For the Matt Nagy truthers out there, you don't need everything to be perfect for you to be a good coach. Sean McVay gets Jared Goff to Super Bowls. So if you have the talent, you can see it. So again, I feel like there's a quote that I always go back to, which is, when people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them. We tend to think that, the person that we're seeing isn't really who they are, but they keep showing you who they are. So if Trubisky ends up being Ryan Tannehill on another team, you can't really feel too bad because he had all the chances in the world in Chicago. We gave Mitchell Trubisky all the chances. We really did. After a while, it depends on your performance. So there's going to be a lot of tough decisions to be made. But like I said, I'm not going to be surprised at all if everybody gets the boot or if we bring these guys back for an additional year. Because I told you this. You got to make a decision one way or the other. The Bulls did this, which is why I love what their future is about. They made the decision that they're going to clean house, not tank necessarily in a way, but they're going to just reboot and start fresh. And the Bulls won't be good for a number of years, but we know that they have the structure in place. Same thing needs to happen with the Bears. If you're moving off of everybody, Bears fans, you better be damn patient. You better be patient. Those Bears fans that are saying, oh, I hate the Bears for being mediocre. Well, if you want a full rebuild, then you have to wait years. Okay? That's what's going to happen. You can't say, I want to be able to have, an elite team and then a rookie quarterback. Like, it's tough. It's tough, right? You have an expensive defense. If you want to replace Trubisky, who's the option? Quarterback's hard to find. Find me the replacement. So, again, a lot of questions to be asked. We'll see what happens, but I'll make plenty of videos on it. Thank you guys so much for supporting me throughout the season. I promise you the videos aren't going anywhere. A ton of off-season content to talk about. With that being said, as always, thanks for watching.